My name is Leah Hall, and this is my bulletin board for classroom management. So for my bulletin board, I've decided to choose a theme that's sort of centered around nature and nurture. I also really wanted to incorporate this tree that I'm labeling the learning tree. I've decided to do my bulletin board for a younger grade level, so more so the lower primary level. I am in the primary junior program, so I really wanted to keep that. And it's just centered around maybe the grade 2 or 3 level. And I've really tried to incorporate an analogy in it. And this analogy is talking about the students being birds who are kind of learning to fly. So you'll kind of see that all throughout it. So I'm just going to kind of take you through all the different parts, and hopefully you like it. So first things first, what was really important to me is that every kid in the class kind of had an opportunity to share what they believe the classroom expectations should be. So my idea was to giving each student one of these little birds. So you can see them all around the side of the poster. I would give them one of the birds on one of the first few days of class and say, hey, what do you feel like are fair classroom expectations? What do you feel are things that will help keep the class running smoothly? And then from there, I would take all of their suggestions and we work together to create our expectations. So here you can see them on the side over here, and I've labeled them our B expectations. First I decided on the word our because I really want the students to feel like they were part of this. They had the decision to make all these rules, and it was incorporated everyone's rules together. And the B I really liked as well, just because it kind of gives that fun feeling to it. It also is easy to remember, and it's also easy to refer to at any point, which is great. I love all these rules, but I will point out 2 specifically. So the first one is the be ready to learn and grow. So the first part of it I absolutely love, the be ready to learn. That's something that we've talked about in our class many times, and I just feel like it's a very important way to start your day. And the other part is the grow. I really like the idea of the growth mindset, and I really want to incorporate that into my classroom because I think it's important that students understand that they have that ability. The other one that I'm going to point out is the be the best you every day. So for me, what that means, and hopefully I will pass it on to my class, that it doesn't mean you have to be 100% perfect absolutely every day as long as you're trying your best. We understand that everyone has good and bad days, and that's okay as long as you're doing the best that you can do at that very moment. So I'm very excited about those. I really like how that turned out. But I'll move on to my next section. So right here, this is a section that's all about me as a teacher. So I really want to keep it short and simple, but things that could be relatable, could be talked about a little bit later on. So I tried to incorporate that into all the things that I said. I'm not sure if you can see it on here, but you will be able to see in the photos that I sent. I used an application called Bitmoji. So basically what that is you can use it to create images more or less of yourself, like turn yourself into a cartoon. I loved it. I had so much fun with it. And I feel like it'll relate a bit more to the students because they do come from that generation of using iPads, using cell phones, and maybe some of them have used this before. If not, I would love to teach them about it. So one of the first things that I point out is that I love to travel, and that I've been to 10 different countries. So this is really important to me because I do love to travel, and I would love to hear where everyone has traveled before. But it also is definitely a learning opportunity, so it's one of those things where it's just a great opportunity to talk about geography, to talk about cultures, and it's also a great inclusive activity that could be used later on, especially for if we have any students who might be newer immigrants to Canada or to Kitchener-Waterloo, or even their parents were newer, came from another country. I'm excited to hear and learn about that, and I'm hoping that this will make them excited to share it with me. And then moving on, so I do have 2 puppies. I absolutely love them. They're a big part of my life. And I just felt like that's something that's fairly relatable to the students because I feel like a lot of students either have pets or know friends or family that have animals in their home. So hopefully that'll lead to another discussion so I can get to know them even better. And then my last one that I have down here, it says I can't wait to get to know each and every one of you. And that one to me is a very, very important one because I feel like that's central to who I am. I really do want to get to know each and every single one of my students. And I think if it's under the About Me section, they'll get to know that I really care about them. I really want to know about their lives. I want to hear their stories, and I'm just excited to grow and learn with them. And then, so next what I have is what I've called the learning tree. And again, this keeps up with the analogy of students being birds and trying to let them fly. It's also a behavior management technique, so I do have names on a clothespin. And so they're easily maneuverable, so it can move up and down the chart depending on how the student's doing that day. I have 5 different sections, so I'll go through them really quickly. So just up at the top here, that one is you are soaring, let's share. So this one is going to be for any student who's done something absolutely exceptional, who's just gone above and beyond, and they're soaring beyond what I would have believed. And the let's share part of it I think is really important for me because I would love to share that with everyone. I think sharing positive news is so important. We see so much negative news lately that it's just great to share what great things people have done. So I would love to give them, choices of how they could share. So maybe sharing with the class, maybe sharing with another teacher or principal if they have a moment, or even what my teacher called in class the sunshine phone call home. I would love to do that, calling the parents saying, hey, so-and-so was amazing today. I'm really hoping I get to make lots of those phone calls. So that is the let's share portion of it. Definitely gonna make a big deal out of that one because I do believe it's important. The next one that I have is wow, keep it up. And this is for students who are just being that amazing role model, and I'm just very proud of giving them that positive reinforcement again, saying, hey, you know what, you're doing a great job, thank you. And then will we move, this one is ready to learn. So this is where everyone's going to start every morning, and this is a place that I expect everyone to be. It's just a great place to start the day, and I think it is very important. Just start your day ready to go, ready to learn. You have that opportunity to move up. They have the power to move up or down depending on their actions. And then we have down here, this one is the stop and think. So this one is if some of our students might not be remembering all of our B expectations, and they just need a little bit of a reminder of that, or they're just having some learning or behavior, they're just not following those expectations. And just up below it, I say, what do I need to be ready to learn? So again, this is a great spot for the student to just have that moment of self-reflection and think about, okay, so I've been moved down, what can I do to move back up? I love this because it just gives them that chance to think about their day, maybe take a break. This would be a great chance for them to take that break and say, hey, you know what, you're right, I'm not doing the learning, I'm not doing the behavior like I should be. How can I get back to where I need to be? And I would love to have some of those universal supports that we talked about in class to support those students when they get down a little bit lower down here. So one of the universal supports that I would absolutely love to use in my class is the calming kit, and just having that opportunity to have that student just take a break from the class, take that calming kit, get back to where they need to be, and head back to the class and ready to learn. And then the last one, sorry, I'll move over here. It's called Oh No. And just underneath it, I have let's chat and get you back on track. So for me, this one, I'm hoping that will be very, very limited use. I really believe in positive reinforcement, keeping the students on the higher end. But if it does come to that, I really want them to know that it's okay. Everyone has those days, and maybe we fall down a few times. But again, the analogy with the birds, we will get you back up, we will get you soaring. And since they would have to move down the steps, and they've already had that chance to self-reflect, and maybe they're just having a little bit of a harder time with that, that's fine. At this stage, I'm going to help them with any coping mechanisms. Of course, I'm going to help them here as well. But here, it's just going to be that one-on-one chat, getting them back and helping them get to where they need to be, reminding them of some of those techniques as well. Another thing that I absolutely love about having this so visual for both the students and myself is that I can see during a day is if I see a lot of students are ending up down at this point, I see that maybe that's a great time to just take a little bit of a stop from the lesson or the activity that we're doing, and maybe take that moment to reconnect and just stop the activity, sit down or maybe not even sit, maybe do some exercises. I really like the idea of some mindful breathing, or just having that mindful moment, or just asking some reflection questions, just getting everyone back connected and feeling like, hey, we're part of a team, we want this to work. I do really want it to be a positive learning environment. And then as you can see over here, I just have this little thing that's sort of a reminder to everyone, where did you land on the tree? where do you land on the learning tree? So it just gives them that moment again, that self-reflection, because they're the ones who are in control of it. They have that power. I want them to know and understand that throughout this whole thing, that it's up to them how the classroom runs. It's not, as much as I am the teacher, I want them to know that we are a team in this, and I want us to all work together as a community, as a family, to get where we need to be. And our days are going to be much better if everyone's up soaring over there. So again, it just gives them that self-reflection moment to think about, hey, where am I and where do I need to be? And hopefully putting some of those techniques in place is really going to get them back to where they need to be. And last but not least, I'll just say, because I found a really cute quote and I really liked it. Up here it says, "Our flock rocks," which I really love because I brought in this bird analogy. And I just want to encourage everyone and say how amazing I think that everyone is. And I'm really excited. I'm hoping, I think that this really flows. It's easy to integrate into different grade levels. And I can't wait to use it in the classroom. Thank you so much for listening.